Things are looking good. Things are looking very good. Yeah, so we've been following up. We've been looking at the Euro USD for since last week. Ever since we were looking at those reversals on different charts, the Euro USD has been a chart of interest, and ever since it went bearish, yeah, it has been moving downwards for this whole period of time. And there are some points where it looked like the trend was changing, but the thing about trends is, by the time you actually get a reversal, by the time the trend actually reverses, you need some serious confirmation to give you that reversal. So you don't just start buying, just because you're seeing some candlesticks moving upwards, or because the news pushes the price to move upwards, and then you think you have a new trend. You need to have, you have to have real evidence, real proof and confirmation of a reversal. Yeah, and we're going to look at that in the Euro USD. There have been some, points whereby, everyone thought, now it has reversed. Okay, not everyone, but most people. And I would keep saying, let's wait for the confirmation. Let's wait for the confirmation. And that confirmation was not coming. So you can't just put in a long-term buying trade when the chart is still moving downwards. Anything can happen to your account. If you put in a very big lot size, you can lose a very big chunk of your money. Yeah, so the Euro USD has been moving steadily downwards, and today it has been very, very bearish. There's been some nice bearish movement today. Yeah, and I keep saying, if you want to make money, if you want to make forex trading easy for you, trade an easy chart. Don't go for a very difficult chart. Don't go for a chart where you can't analyze fundamentally. You go for the chart that is very simple, predictable, and easy to read, that has so much information out there that you can relate to, and just like that, you'll start making some easy money. Then you progress from that easy chart to other difficult charts. And that's what we shall be doing. So I've taken a lot of time to properly illustrate the Euro USD and other currency pairs that are in the major currency bracket. So all those pairs, they all follow the same trends. They all follow the same trends, the same patterns, the same fundamental analysis. These charts actually have news that you can follow up, and this news can give you a good read on the chart. You can know what's going to happen in the chart sometimes before it even happens. Even for news as big as non-farm payrolls, consumer price index, unemployment rates. The unpredictable news is normally these speeches that we normally have. Like today, there's a speech in about 40 minutes. There is a speech from the ECB president, and so that one you really don't know what they are going to say. You can speculate, or if you've been following up the events in Europe, this one is affecting the euro. So if you've been following up events in Europe, then you can somehow predict what they are about to say. But for these speeches, they are not very predictable, and sometimes you just wait for the market to, for the impact to take place, and then you just follow the momentum, and you get, even if it's going down, then you go down with it, and you sell and make some money there. If it's going up, then you buy and you make some money upwards. That's basically how you do it with such events, or you just sit it out. But when it comes to events like consumer price index, unemployment rates, then you have some statistics there. You can see the consensus is a bit maybe more than the previous figure or less, and there you can have a prediction. Especially if it is something which is year over year. If they've been collecting data for a whole year, then the consensus cannot be far from the truth. But if it is something which is month on month, then there, maybe they haven't gathered enough information for the consensus, and the information might vary from the actual figures. But when it is for a long period of time, then there's been a lot of time to collect this information, and then if the difference between the figures, the previous and the consensus, if the difference is very big, then the actual figure could be somewhere close to that, or even greater than that. That's what makes those ones very, very predictable. That's why I keep talking about predictability on these charts. So such events are very predictable, and you can easily, you don't even need to put your pending orders up and down, trying to, something which is as predictable as statistics that have been collected for a whole year. You don't need to put pending orders trying to guess where it is going, because it should be very obvious where it's going, because the figures tell you everything. But if it is something which is math on math, like non-farm payrolls, then that one there, you have to be very careful. But still, if the consensus is a number very, very big, bigger than the previous figure, and bigger in a negative way or in a positive way, but if the gap is very big, then there you will have your predictability. But if it's too close, then there you have to wait it out and see what happens. You don't just jump into it. Yeah, so so those charts, they are mostly predictable charts, and they make money. All these charts, they make money. So you don't need to, you don't need to move away from a chart just because it seems common. People want to trade other charts because they have this feeling that everyone is trading Euro USD. So I'm going to trade, CHF versus gold, something like that. Yeah, so you want to trade a very rare chart because you don't want to be in with a crowd, but that is very bad. Yeah, you stick to the easiest chart, make that easy money. If the chart is easy, then there's no harm in making easy money. Make that easy money, then transfer it to another account to tackle the hard, those other hard charts. Yeah, so moving on from these charts, I'm going to start looking at some indices, not volatility indices, some indices which are very common, the Dow Jones, then the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is also very common. The other one is the S&P 500 index. Now I've seen the index for the VIX, not the VIX 75 or 100, but just the VIX. Now those ones are common and they're on many brokers. Normally brokers who are aligned mostly to American traders. So those ones, they have those index charts. And yeah, so what I'm looking at those ones is that they are common and they're on many brokers. VIX 75 and 100, those are very popular, but they are monopolized to one broker. So you're trying to get some information that is out there to tackle these charts, you may not get enough credible information. So most of your trading is going to mostly be technical. It's going to be technical, and yeah, but we can look at them as well. But these other charts, they are more of charts which are fundamentally grounded in the market, and they are quite common and they're talked about by so many analysts, professionally and otherwise. So those charts, they are safe. It is safe to look at those charts. They are very common. So I'm going to go into those charts. I think we shall start with those ones. Next week, I'm thinking about updating my app, updating the technical analysis app to include those index charts and to include a few other things. And yeah, because most of those charts, they actually work with mostly technical analysis. And yeah, another thing is small spreads. Brokers that have small spreads normally have those index charts, and that gives you the opportunity to even trade a 1 minute chart, and benefit from it. So yeah, things are now fast moving. Before a 1 minute chart, you look at it and the spread is this big, in a 1 minute chart, especially with Forex charts. The spread is so big. You're going to buy from here, then your entry level will be around there, and that's a very, very big spread. But when you're being given a chart with a very tiny spread, imagine a spread where you can't even see the ask line in a 1 minute chart. That is something interesting, which means you can pick profit right off that point when price moves into positive figures. You can pick a profit just there. The spread can be so small that it won't even be seen on the chart, and that is a very big advantage. It's a very huge advantage to traders. It's extremely advantageous. You can have you can have so many trades in a day. Yeah? Now look at this analysis we've been doing with the Euro USD. It has been in a 1 hour chart to get the reversal of a trend in 1 hour. And we're looking for about, so many candlesticks, maybe like 3 days, or about 64, about 60, 60 something candlesticks for 1 hour. Those are about 3 days. So you wait for 3 days, even a whole week to confirm your trend, if the trend has changed. But, with this kind of trading on a 1 minute chart, 60 candlesticks is just 1 hour. So you can start, I call it stalking. You start stalking your chart, like a predator stalks their prey. Yeah, so you start, stalking your chart. You start watching it, looking for the overbought positions of the oversold positions. Then you just have to wait for 60 candlesticks, and that is just 1 hour. Yeah, so you can start stalking your chart. You put there your point A at an overbought or an oversold position. Then you can go away and take, you can have your lunch, or you take some tea, or you take a short nap. Then you come back after 80 candlesticks have passed. That's about 80 minutes. And, you're already in your trend that you wanted. And just like that, you can get in easily like that. And you can pick off some profits. You can scalp and make some profit there, which is, it's better than, a 1 hour chart where you have to wait a whole week. So what you can do in 1 week, you can do that in 1 day, with this kind of spreads, and that is very advantageous. It's a very big advantage. So so if you're there, you can wake up and have so many trades in a day. Many safe trades without taking chances, because sometimes when you're waiting for a certain pattern of candlesticks to appear, you're going to lose patience. By the time you wait for a whole week just to make one trade, you're going to lose patience, and then you're going to end up entering a trade that you're not very sure of, and that's how you make losses. But if you're trading in a 1 minute chart, and you get that reversal, that new trend, and you wait for it, and it just takes you 3 hours, then in that day you're going to actually trade a good trend, and sometimes with these big spreads, a big spread can cover an entire 1 minute trend. You can have one entire bullish trend, and it is all covered within the spread. But imagine where the spread only covers this part where you enter. Just like 0.3 points. Sorry, like 3 points of the MetaTrader 4. The MetaTrader 4 points. 3 of them, or even 2 points. The lowest I've seen is 3 points. So you just have that, and you just move on into your profits on a 1 minute chart. That's a very big advantage to traders. So the whole idea of being patient, waiting for 2 weeks, waiting for maybe a whole week just to enter one trade, that can be solved by having a small spread on a small chart, and that's a very big advantage. So maybe let's just take a look at the Euro USD chart. Let's just take a look at what I've just been talking about. This the reversal that we looked at previously, and how the trend is actually moving on. So the Ichimoku is still locked in. The relative strength index is still in there. I haven't changed anything since last week on Monday. So I just wanted to follow this up as much as possible. So I think the last time we saw this chart, we're headed towards this 50.0, and now it looks like we're headed for the 61.8. This is very good progress, and everything is moving according to plan. So for this reversal here, the first point of getting the reversal was when price is overbought on the RSI. So we have here an overbought price, and it continues being overbought. Then we start having the slanting price, the slanting figures on the RSI. I think I'm repeating this for the. This won't be the last time, but there's no harm in doing this anyway. So here we have these slanting figures. Then on the chart, we have the rising tops, which are something like that. So that gives us our divergence. So price is coming from an overbought position, and then it starts moving downwards, but that is not enough. Following the Ichimoku, we have to wait for price to move below the cloud, which it did there, and then the Chiku span to go below the price, which happens there, about some candlesticks previously. So now, when we're looking at, I think in the middle somewhere, price was selling and then hit the oversold position there on the RSI, so that became point A. But that is not confirmation for that's not confirmation to start buying. So price, it moved upwards there, and it continued selling because we didn't yet have confirmation of an upward trend. So we remain in the downward trend. Even if you started selling at this point, maybe you went into a negative of about 37 pips, which is not bad, but then price actually came back about 40 pips. Yeah, so price is still bearish. It came back and fell into another oversold position. So now, but this place here, if I draw a trend line here, touching all these, now these ones here, they are mostly on the they're on the same line, all these bottoms, but they are all oversold positions. So this was our point A at first, then point A was cancelled out by the new point A, which is this one, and now we have another point A. Yeah, but in order to get confirmation for an upward trend in this scenario, we are going to need rising bottoms. Yeah, rising bottoms, and on the RSI. So we are going to need another bottom here that is going up. Then now this has become our third point A. Yeah, so this one has cancelled out this other point A. So we need some other bottoms to form in the future so that we have this point A. Okay, so let me just draw this. Let me delete this first. Okay, it's quite a stubborn line. Okay, so what we need, let me extend this as well so that okay, so this being our bottom, what we need is something like this, the RSI to keep on tapping this, then it comes back and taps it, so that we have these rising bottoms on the RSI. Then for the chart, we shall need these bottoms to keep on going further below. Yeah, so we need some bottoms like that. Okay, maybe something like that. Then, so we need rising bottoms on the RSI. Then we need these falling bottoms on the Euro USD. So, we could have some price, tracing back upwards, maybe during this period of time. But in order to actually get the downward trend, that's what we need. We need this to continue moving downward. So if it continues being bearish, you could have some. Okay, price could obviously break this 61.8. Right now, it looks like something very obvious. It has broken this lowest point that was there previously, and price could easily touch below there, and the pips left to that level they're about 15 pips, and it could even break below, but then it might keep on. It just has to start trending downwards while the RSI is trending upwards, and then these indicators will have to start forming to give us that confirmation that we need to start buying. Yeah, so I think that's the only chart we are looking at today. Yeah, so basically that's what we need to get the reversal. What we were seeing previously, that was not actually going to reverse the chart to give us that confirmation to reverse. But with this, we can continue being bearish, but price is now close to the 61.8, which means it's a kind of a dangerous zone. Price may not continue being very volatile, moving downwards. But to get that confirmation that price is now moving upwards, you have to actually wait for this formation to happen, and that's on the 1 hour chart. But this sort of thing can be happening on a 1 minute chart rapidly. You can have that like maybe 3 times in a day, which is not so bad. And with a small spread, you can make some good profit from there. Because this kind of standard analysis doesn't happen all the time. You have to wait and wait and wait. Maybe once in a month you will get 1 trade. But on a 1 minute chart, you can have maybe your 3 or 5 trades in 1 day. Because imagine just 1 day has 24 candlesticks of the 1 hour chart, and 20 days you get those 24 candlesticks times 20, that's about 400 and something candlesticks. So you have 400 candlesticks to give you 1 trade. Now the 1 minute chart has 60 candlesticks in in 1 hour, and you have 24 hours. Let's say you have 20 hours, which that's about that's many. That's about 1,200 candlesticks. So imagine what you can do in 1 day. Here you have 400 candlesticks that give you 1 trade. The other side you have 1,200 candlesticks, which can give you another 5 trades. And just like that, we have to start now. You have to start adjusting. You have to start adjusting to the new way of doing things. Things keep changing, and things become easier and more frequent. So we just have to keep on adjusting and adjusting and adjusting until we fit into these new charts, into these new markets. And that's it's very, very interesting, and it's fun. Change is very nice. It's not good to stay stuck in one place for a long period of time. Even with these markets, when such change comes in, you embrace it, and you face the challenge, and it's very nice. It's very, very nice. It makes life less boring. It gives it some some adrenaline. You just go in and fight with these markets, and at the end of the day, if you succeed, then you celebrate. So go into those charts, look for the charts with small spreads, and so we're going to see what we're going to start doing with these small accounts. On the Telegram group, we're going to review another robot. I think it will be the 3rd one this time. And so that we keep on talking about these robots on the group. And but this robot here, the aim is they call it flipping accounts. People call that flipping accounts. You put an account of $10, then you flip it to about $70 or something like that in a short period of time. But doing that as a human being is quite it's something else. It's quite difficult. But a robot programmed to do it, a robot can do it. Because it doesn't face all the struggles that human beings face. So that's the robot that we're going to look at. And so the idea, okay, this keeps on continuing on the Telegram group. There are many people there who post their analysis, and most times I've been keeping haven't been keeping out. I've just been monitoring what's happening and seeing how we are relating and how the group is growing, and there's a lot of growth that is taking place there. Analysis is getting better. People who are risking very big lots, they are now understanding the risk ratios. You can't risk too much. You can't put a very big lot size on a small amount of money. So we're getting the basics, and so when when we're looking at this robot, there are so many factors we should look at. Instead of just looking at things going up and down, there's going to be a deeper understanding, especially about the risk and the reward and the entry points and everything that is involved with that robot. So I'm going to explain all of those things very well in that robot, and then we see how to flip these accounts. Now, when you flip a small account, then you can trade normally when the money is enough, so that you don't risk big amounts. It's better you risk a small amount, flip it, then you transfer it to another account, and then you treat it with with much more care. You don't just keep on bombarding it with big trades. So that's the whole idea. You flip a small account, then you trade it normally, and if you want to flip some more money, you just keep on putting back a small chunk of your money. If you lose it, that's That's how things are. But if you lose it, then, just, okay, there will be other conditions under which you must enter this particular robot, not just all the time. If you put in a robot in a range market, you know what will happen. But if we put it at the right time, then we can easily flip all of these accounts. And and another again, you can do whatever you want with it, because people use robots in ways that are unimaginable. You can't even, you might create it for a certain purpose, but then someone else tells you, this is what I'm doing with it, and they're doing something very, very, very superb with it, which you didn't even see originally, and that is something very, very nice. So we're going to on the Telegram group. If you haven't joined it, you just search for BVB Trade FX, or you search for Trading Dawn, the name of this program. Those are two easy names that will get you there easily, and you just join the group. The group has now grown. The group is now big. It's very, very big. And so there is so much that is coming, and so let us look at this as the group grows. There will be so much more to look at, and we shall reach that point whereby we can all interact and put our heads together and make a super robot. There's nothing wrong with 500 people having the same robot. Let's go and fight that market. 500 people, an entire army, an army of robots, go and fight the market, and you withdraw big chunks of money out of there. The market has taken a lot of your money. There's no reason why you shouldn't. And it's like a robot that is taking your money. So you also send in an army of robots, and you also take a chunk out of there, and just like that, we all benefit, and we start even building better robots in the future. So if you're not on the Telegram group, just join it, or tell someone else to join it, so that I'm going to start posting things every day. I haven't been doing that, but I'm going to start posting things every day, and we're going to grow. We're going to grow, and there are some brokers I want to introduce to you, and so we're going to look at all those different the varieties of things. And the brokers I'm bringing, they don't really have good. They're not very friendly with our money systems. They are mostly outside there. So they are normally doing with. Okay, we shall look at all those, but those that are easy for us that we're already using, just Forex, Templar. We can easily deposit money. You can easily withdraw, but when you start digging deeper, we're going to start having to find other solutions to other problems that might emerge, especially with those factors of putting money and getting money. But that we shall discuss all that stuff, and as time goes on, things could change, and things will get a lot better for all of us. So thank you for watching. That's it for today. Goodbye.
Smart 24, driving business. Smart 24, driving business.
Amanya ndina Kayenga Regina, naze managing director wa Arena Beverage Solutions. Olwaleero njagala mbalage bwe tukola empirivuma. Empirivuma muti gusangibwa mu kibira oba mu kisaalu, olumu ne ku lukalu. Omuti ogwo guliibwa nnyo enkima, eŋŋaŋa n'ebinyonyi ebirala, naye emabegako twali tetumanyi mugaso gwagwo. Kakati essaawa eno tugujjamu ebyokunywa ate nga biyamba nnyo munaddala ku bantu abalina pressure, sukaali, abaami abalina obulwadde bayita prostate cancer, oba abakyala n'abaami abakuze abalina ennyingo zaabwe n'ebinywa nga binafuye. Okwo kwoteeka n'abo ababeera nga oba beekanga oba nga obusimu bwabwe obw'omubiri bunafuye. Kale nga tumaze okizuula twasanga nti empirivuma kyekintu omuntu kyewandibadde obeera nakyo mu makaago. Buli muntu yenna asobola okinywa. Abaana abato kibayamba okuzuukusa obwongo oba okukuza obwongo n'ebinywa byabwe okubeera nti bigumu n'amagumba. Ffe abantu abakulu nga bwe mbagambye ebinywa manye ebinywa bimanya okulagaya n'amagumba ganafuwa. Ate abakyala abamu bagamba nti kibooza ne mu nseke. Kale ekintu ekyo kirungi nnyo. N'abalala era abakyala kibagamba nti kibongerako okubeera nti bali mu mbeera entuufu ng'abakyala abafumbo. Kale empirivuma efaanana bw'eti. Eno nsigo y'empirivuma. Wano tuba tumaze okugikuba n'ekala bulungi, naye ffe nga Rena si ffe tugikuba. Kati tulina abakyala ab'eruweero, ab'emukono, waliyo n'abaami abavubuka abatuwa empirivuma eno. Kakati bwe tuba tugenda okugikola tusooka ne tugironda bulungi nga bwe mugiraba, nungi nnyo, nnyonjo. Awo ne tugiteeka mu baketi ne tugipima. Tulina okumanya ekipimo kye tulina nga tetunaba kutandika gisiika. Kati era wano tujja kukiraba nti bwe ziba nga zaakayiikamu zijja kuba nga njeru, naye bw'anaayitawo eddakiika nga 18-20 zijja kuba nga zimaze okutuuka ffe kaawa waffe gwe tutunda langi n'obuwoomi we tumwagalira. Kati olubereberye twagenda ne tusoma ne tulaba nti ffe kaawa gwe twagala aba afaanana atya, aba awooma atya, kubanga twasooka mukolera waffe. Twasooka ne tumukola mu kasefuliya kaffe akatono paka lwe twalaba nti kino kye twagala. Kati bwe twamala okimanya then ne tukozesa kyati ne tulonda nti ono gwe twagala, nga ne example nayo tugirina nti ono gwe twagala. Bwe twateekako ne basoma ne bagamba aha, kakati eno ebeera linnya bwe riti kino bwe bityo. Biri scientific. Era okuva lwe twatandika okukozesa method eno kaawa waffe ali consistent. Gwe wanyweddeko omwaka ogwaggwa ne gw'onoonywa lwaleero ne luli ejja kubeera nga empooma y'emu. Kansooke nnyonnyole ekigambo kaawa. Ekigambo kaawa kino tekikwata ku mmwanyi zokka, naye buli nsigo bw'omala okugisiikako n'ogisa ekivaamu omuzungu akiyita kaawa oba kofi. Era ndowooza naffe bwe tukiyita. Kubanga kankuwa ekyokulabirako, tulina kaawa ava mu soya, bamuyita soya kofi, naye nga si kaawa ate oli owa bulijjo. Era bw'omunywako owulira akawoowo aka kaawa, naye nga si ye kaawa, oli ow'emmwanyi. Owulidde? Kati osobola okukola kaawa mu buli nsigo yonna. Olaba kati tukola ne okra, naye tumuyita okra coffee, naye nga tusiise okura yokka era bw'omunywako ayawuka akawoowo ke kawufu ku k'empirivuma ku ka soya ku ka okura ne kokowa byawufu okujjako nti kati tulina okumanya nti ebirungo Katonda bye yateeka mu buli kibala biba byanjawulo. Ebirungo bya kaawa ow'emmwanyi byawufu ku kaawa ow'empirivuma, ebirungo bya kaawa ow'empirivuma byawufu mu kaawa owa okura, n'ebya okura byawufu mu kaawa owa soya. Kakati ffe ekikulu kya byonna tugezezaako okulaba nti omutindo gwaffe tugukuuma okuva wansi ku mulimi oba muyite akuŋŋaanya empirivuma, tuba wa standard ze twagala era totuleetera kintu ffe kye tutayagala ekyakukudde oba ekyagize eki ekyo kimu. Ekyokubiri ne tutuuka ku kusiika. Okusiika kwaffe kwa mutindo, si kwa sefuliya nti yababiridde ate omuliro gwabadde mutono ate biki. Ekyo kituyambye nnyo okukuuma omutindo gwaffe. Kati awo bwe tuvaawo ne tugenda kupakira. Okupakira olaba tuteeka mu bukebe bwaffe obw'ekyuma. Ekyuma ekyo bakiyita food grade. Empirivuma yaffe nga twagitaddemu ne bw'onoogisaanikula nga wayiseewo emyaka 3 yadde nga tuteekako emyaka 2 ojja gisanga nga bwe wagiteekamu bweri. So kikuuma omutindo. Ate bwe tuvaawo awo ne tuteekako lebo yaffe nayo nnungi nnyo era ate ne gye bujja nga tweyongedde okufuna bakasitoma tujja kubeera nga emikebe gyaffe tugikubirako ddala nga gyo gijja giri branded. Kakati counterfeit waliwo ne kyetwagala okukola ekya UNBS kye yaleeta ekya itaaga nti bw'oteeka mu kyuma gwe consumer gw'omunywi ayagala okumanya oba kino kirungi oba kituufu oba si kituufu, bw'oteekamu nga ekintu ekyo basobola okukisoma ne bamanya empirivuma evuddewa oba product eyo evuddewa. So twagala nnyo okukola ebintu byaffe mu bwerufu. Ekyo kitukuumirako ku mutindo n'okubeera nti ebintu bino UNBS ebimanye, tulina certificate yabyo, twabitwala ne babikebera era tulina certificate. Era byonna tugenze tubirinnyisa omutindo. Twasookera ku kupakira ebintu byaffe byonna nga biri mu plastic, naye tugenze tuyiga, tugenda tulinnyisa omutindo oba upgrading. Kati ekituteesaako ne mu plastic kubeera nti tulina obutale obw'enjawulo. Abantu baffe abakozesa products zaffe banjawulo. Oli yagamba nti nze sifuddeeyo mu parking, naye era tugenderera nnyo nti bwe tuba nga ekintu kyaffe kiri mu plastic omuntu tumugamba kikozese mangu, kireme kubeera nti kisika omusana nekifuukuuka balangi oba n'ebirungo okuddirira. Naye nga plastic tukyamukozesaako olw'okubeera nga bwe mugambye tiwaliwo omuntu oba mu butale bwaffe tulinamu abo abasobola okubeera nti basobola kugula kaawa wa 15 n'abalala basobola wa mutwalo. Kaakati ono akyali ku 15 asinga yenna ali mu plastic. Okendeeza ku bbeeyi. Abalimi b'empirivuma tebannaba kubeerayo okwogera obutuufu, yadde nga twagala kati tutandike okusimba empirivuma tuzirabirire tulabe mu eka zivaamu zenkana ki naye nga omutindo ffe gwe tusinza okubawa oba ekyesuubi kye tusinza okubawa tubagamba temutema miti. Emiti egyo mugirabirire mugikuume butiribiri muwanuleeko buwanuzi ki ensigo omuti gusigale nga gwongera okuwa n'omwaka ogujja. Weewaawo Rena twawandiikako ku pulojekiti nga tulowooza nti NEMA eyinza okutuyamba okulaba nti tukuuma oba tutangira obutonde nga tuziyiza okutema emiti egy'empirivuma naye tetunafuna response bulungi. Kati tulina porogulaamu 2022 ey'okukwata ku balimi n'abo abakuŋŋaanya empirivuma. Akawoowo k'empirivuma kaawuka era bw'obanga wali ogize eki okunguddeko ku mpirivuma ogiwulira eba ewunya yokka n'empooma eyawuka. Kano kalimu akakambagga kaawa takambagga ate ne bw'obeera onywa empirivuma tekuleetera mutima kukuba yo tekubisa mutima tekubeezesaawo nti otunule ekiro kyonna kyonna kubanga kaawa abamu bamunywa babeere nga tebeebaka aziiza otulo. Empirivuma weebaka nomale otulo otwo ne tuggwamu oba weebakidde essaawa 2 neba nga weebase amaaso gazibiriza buli kimu kizibiridde owummula. Eno kyanjawulo weebaka bulungi tekubisa ntunnunsi owummula. Katugenda kunywa ku kaawa waffe ono tuva okukuba kunywebwa ne mu woteeri. Kati oba woteeri ng'ogenda kusaavinga abakasitoma bo oteekako amazzi n'osena empirivuma yo eneemala bweti mu kikopo. Osobola n'ogiteeka mu coffee maker naye kati nze kankozesa amazzi gano aga bulijjo. So you can see it dissolves very fast. Teina particles era egenda kuwomera.
My name is Semulimi Moses. I'm an instructor at Ntinda Vocational Training Institute. Ntinda Vocational Institute is a center for excellence of vocational training and we offer 5 courses. Ntinda Vocational Training Institute is assessed by DIT, that is Directorate of Industrial Training of the Ministry of Education, and offer competence-based training and assessment to see that Uganda has competent technical people who are proficient and who are result-oriented. So who is doing that? That is the electrician, the domestic electrician. And how is he going to do it? You don't do it in any way you feel like. There is a way you have to follow, and we do it in accordance with IEE/IEEE/IEC. IEE, that is Institution of Electrical Engineers, or Institution of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. Now it was compounded to the International Electrotechnical Commission. They set rules, preset the international, and which we follow. So the electrician who wears this lamp, following this, the way it is wired here is the way it is done in Kenya, in Europe, in America, in Australia, and everywhere in Africa. That is, it is international. So an electrician who does this, the way he will do it, he will be competent and internationally acceptable. So now within, yes, we've got time frame. This work here at least has to do it in 1 hour maximum. So now, when you are going to do this work, there are steps to follow. You don't just come and do. There are steps to follow, or which we call processes. Now, which are these processes? We go through the processes. For example, the first one is site survey. Mark the points and make the line diagram, make the circuit diagram, make the material estimations and procure them, install the points and do the cabling, and then you do the termination, they test the circuit with a meter, and finally you power the circuit. And then that's when our DIT can come and assess, have you done it well? I think I have to upload DIT for the that work which is doing. It's really a very good job. Thank you, DIT. So now, let's go. Step 1, site survey. When you are given a job, the client takes you to the site and you see the site. But then you've got to go and survey the site yourself. What is there? What are the risks? Which risks are involved? Which space do I have? How can I mitigate those risks? How can I overcome them? What do I need? How long is the distance from my workplace? What do I need to go with? How many people do I need to go with? So you do the site survey and resurvey as well. Then you mark the points. Now, this is my site. This is where we are going to work from. And this is where we are going to put our lamp. So we mark the points. We are going to mark the points, as we shall come to that, to mark the points. Then after marking the points, you make what we call a line diagram. Now that is the geography of the work from here to there. Now this is our line diagram. We have a lamp. We have a terminal place, a terminal point where we carry out our terminations, where we call the joins and the connections. Then we have the switch place. So this is called a line diagram. Then step number 3, we go to what we call making the circuit diagram. You know, a circuit in electrical engineering, it is a complete flow of electric energy and should be doing some work. If it just goes and it short circuits and goes back, then that will be a short circuit. But it has got to get a load, and in this case, our load is the lamp. So we have the supply point. Where does the power come from? The power has to come from a source somewhere. From the source, whether the mains or from the battery or from solar, there has to be a source. Then when the power comes, it has got to come to a place where it will be terminated and be channeled to the control point, that is the switch, and from the switch to the load point, that is the lamp. So you get to know the actual thing manually, point by point, place by place, and it is well drawn. Now, this is a critical point. Electricians, listen to me properly. All eyes on me, all over viewers. Never carry out any electrical work without a circuit diagram. Never carry out any electrical work without a circuit diagram. This is what leads you, and it's the one on which you follow. You'll never make a mistake. And even if you make a mistake, it will be minor, not deadly. Now, from there, we go to what we call make the materials estimation. Now the materials estimation and procure them, and the tools as well. So now we are going to see the tools. Which tools do we need? Which materials do we need? Now, we need screwdrivers, we need side cutter, combination plier, hammer, phase tester, multimeter, and electrician's knife. Now, Maureen, help me. Show us. First of all, we have the screwdrivers. Yes, I see the screwdrivers, which we are going to use. We've got this screwdriver. The screwdriver, we've got the minus and the star. All right. Now we need the side cutter. The side cutter, this one here. The side cutter. We need combination pliers. Combination pliers. We need a phase tester. This one here. It tests for whether the conductor is live or not. Then we need a hammer and the electrician's knife. We shall see the multimeter later. Now, from there we go to the materials. Which materials do we need? We need the materials as well. Now we need a 1.5 millimeter squared twin cable. Now, we don't say 1.5 millimeter only, it is incomplete. It is a 1.5 millimeter squared twin cable. Because for lighting, we might not need the earth. We need, I think now we go as you are showing us. This is our cable. We say a cable because it has got more than one conductor. If it is one conductor, it's just a simple conductor or wire. But if it has two conductors or more, that one is a cable. And the size which we need is 1.5 millimeter squared twin cable. Now, we need a one gang, one way, single pole switch. Electrician, listen to me. If a switch has one button, that is what we call a gang. If it has two buttons, those are two gang. Now, this one, these are two gangs. The button, we can set two buttons. But now in electrical, we don't say two buttons, we say gang. So this one is a gang. This one is two gang, and the one we are going to use is one gang. One way, single pole switch. We need a lamp holder. Now, this lamp holder is called a button straight lamp holder because it is wall mounted. We also have a pendant. The one which swings, the pendant lamp holder, and it's put on the, it is this one, this is the ceiling rose on the ceiling, and then we put the lamp holder here. It is pendant swinging, but this one is button straight. There's one which is button bend, which some people call it angle but this one is button straight lamp holder. We need a bulb. This is a bulb. Now, we need a joint box. A joint box, yes. Now, this is where we carry our terminations. Okay, they put the joint box here, and at the same time, it's the one which is here. This is where we carry out the terminations, or the connections, or the joints. Now, we need this mod box. Some people call it the MK box. But now here we localized it that the MK box is usually for the wall mounted, where it is flash wiring, it is inside the wall and you cast it in the cement. But this mod box is for surface wiring. So we put it on the wall, you fix it on the wall and you put the switch. So that's why we call it a mod box. Then the rest are small accessories. We need tower clips, which will help us to clip the cable on the wall. Okay, this one called a tower clip. And we also need screws. We need screws. As I said, we need the tower clips. This is the tower clip. Okay, the clip, it holds the cable, and then you hammer. You need this clip, then you clip in the cable. Then after clipping the cable, then you hammer this nail into the wall or on the wiring surface. Then this screw is to fix these accessories, like joint box and the mod box onto the wall, so that things are fixed and you carry out the clipping, what we call the cable lay, and the termination, and the worker gets done. We said that our task is to wire a lamp controlled by a one gang, one way single pole switch. We've seen the one gang, one way single pole switch, and it is with the electrician to carry out this work. And how well, in accordance with International Institution of Electrical Engineers or Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers or International Electrotechnical Commission. And we have seen the steps, we have seen the drawings, we've seen now the circuit diagram, we have seen the materials which are required and the tools which are required. So now next is to go manually and practically on the work so that we do it practically and pragmatic and we see the results. We are now going to go practical to do the pragmatic part of our practical, of our installation. We are going to wire this one lamp controlled by one gang, one-way single pole switch, and this is our terminal point where we carry out the connections, which we call the joint box. Many electricians call it a junction box. No, junction is for conduit work, but for wiring work, it's called a joint box. And this is our power source. So now, before we do the work, you have to do what we call the measurements and the sketch. So, if you can see here, we carried out measurements to measure the cable which you are going to use. You measure the cable you are going to use. So it is something which is like this. So this is our joint box. This is the switch. This is the source. And this is the lamp. So we carry out measurements so that we don't waste material. So now we are going to step number 5. Install the points and do the cabling. We have installed the points. This is the switching point, connection point, and the lighting point. Now we do the cabling. Now the cable has to be straight. The cable has to be straight, and you clip at intervals. You do the clipping at intervals, not too near and not too far. Yes, that is clipping. Now we come to the switch point. Now, before we clip here, we have got to terminate. Now, this is a critical point. Some people make the length longer or shorter. Now you bring this length at the end of the joint box so that part of it enters in the joint box and the other part is for termination. So here I do the cutting. We brought it towards the end here and we cut. Now after cutting, you strip. When you are stripping, you press, okay, at around 30 millimeters, which is 3 centimeters, which is slightly more than an inch. When it has really recut, you bend the knife at 30 degrees and then you strip. If you carry it at a sharper angle, you will injure the conductor. And once you injure the conductor, you will reduce its current carrying capacity. So what you do is to be very careful and carry it at 30 degrees and then you strip. After removing the sheath, now you remove this final insulation from the conductor. So it is removed, then you twist it so that the strands are not sporadic. They don't go in various directions. They should be one. This electrical knife is very sharp. So now we made our conductors. Now after, you have to take it back. Don't leave, it's very sharp and dangerous. So you've got to, that is material and tool handling. The next step is to do the termination. What do we mean by termination? That is connecting, making the connections and the jointing. And this is critical. Now these are electrical joints. The IEE wiring regulation stipulates that an electric joint should be electrically continuous and mechanically sound. It shouldn't pull out under normal strains. So we are going to make our joints firm. Now, according to our circuit diagram, we see the neutral conductor. When the neutral conductor comes, it goes straight to the lamp. The neutral conductor, it goes straight to the lamp. This is our neutral incoming. So it is going direct to the lamp. So we connect it directly to the lamp. We said electrically continuous and mechanically sound. It should not pull out under normal strains. Fine. Right, now we see our live conductor coming. The live conductor here, we see the live conductor, it has come from the supply, it goes to the switch. The live conductor has come, it goes to the switch. Now we connect our live conductor. This is the incoming live conductor. We connect it to go to the switch. Now the switch has got the supply. Now from the switch, our conductor, which comes to the switch, now from the switch, now it is going to the lamp. Now this is our termination point where we connect the conductor from the switch to the lamp. Now we see it coming from the switch. This is our conductor which comes from the switch. It goes to the lamp through the terminal point. We are almost done with the termination. Coming stubborn, we are saying it has to be electrically continuous and mechanically sound. It should not pull out under normal strains. No pulling out under normal strains. Short circuits and loose connections are the major cause of electricity burns in houses. So the joints have got to be firm. So these are our joints. Now finally we come to the switch. Now our switch has two terminals, the incoming and the outgoing. We terminate the switch. We call it connecting the switch. Now we don't fix the switch in here before we have tested. Now we bring our multimeter. Now you are going to hold the multimeter. We are going to put in continuity. Okay? Now it can either put in it can make a sound. Okay? That bringing sound, or it can even read. Now, is there continuity? When we switch on, is there continuity? For example, is there a short circuit? So, for example, have to take measurements. Is there any short circuit? It's not making any sound. Otherwise, now, when we switch on here, this is our lamp coming. This is the one going to the switch. When we switch on from the switch, is it making any sound when we switch on? Is it making any sound? No. Then if it doesn't make any sound, it means that the switch might be faulty. It's not continuous. But then let's see, we shall see with the lamp. Okay? So, after testing with the multimeter, do we have power in a way? Let us see. Can you please switch on, put on the socket and switch on? Yes, we have power. Now switch off and pull out and we connect the power. Have you pulled out? Now we connect the neutral to the neutral and the live to the live. Switch on. Now can you come and switch on and off and on, hold it here. Switch on and off, on and off. If there's a short circuit, it would have brought problems. Now let us put in our bulb. Can you switch on and off? So that is our lamp. Switch on, switch off, switch on. Now, finally, switch off. Finally, we close the switch with a screw. And the joint box cover we cover. But now, before we do the covering, DIT, for assessment purposes, it will come to see, are these joints firm? Are they firm? Is there continuity? Did you make the terminations firm? Is the work okay? Is it well done? Then, after you have seen that you will not be caught off guard, you do the covering. Finally, we say that we have come up with, we have wired a lamp, this lamp, controlled by a one-gang, one-way, single-pole switch by the domestic electrician. I want to say thank you so much to Directorate of Industrial Training, UBC crew for this time to learn, Ntinda Vocational Training Institute, the Center for Excellence.
Time to learn. My name is Nkamwebanera Joseph Joab, a teacher of Google Vocational Training Institute, but we work with DIT, especially when they have some activities regarding skilling in Uganda. Now, these days, government is promoting skilling in Uganda, so now wherever we go, we try to teach the country, women and countrymen, how the skills are done. Now, today, we want to look at how buildings are constructed. And before you construct a building, you do what we call setting. So in setting, before you do any construction, there must be setting. And you must be having tools that requires you to do the setting. So now here we are going to draw a line that requires to begin doing the setting. Gerard, you can draw the line.
Smart 24, driving business.
Now, hello viewers, we are going to begin setting. And when we are setting, there is what we call a building line. There is a building line and we have what we call a builder's line. So there is a big distinction between a builder's line and a builder's line. A building line is a line that is normally given by the government or authority, any authority, when you are going to construct a building so that your structure does not go beyond that line. We call it a building line. Then we also have what we call a builder's line. Some of the learners have always done mistakes. When they go to hardwares to buy these lines, they say, I want a building line. They say, I want a building line. This is a builder's line. A building line is the one that is normally on the ground, that is offered by the government or any authority, so that there is no any building that goes beyond that building line. Whereas this one is the one that aids you or assists you when you are making the bricks so that they are on the same line. That's what a builder's line. Now from there, we are going to set, real setting, because we have already drawn a building line. So we can now set so that we will show you how the building is going to be set. Gerard, you can begin from there. When we are setting, we make sure the bricks don't go beyond this building line. You bring it very fast, you bring it very fast, you bring it very fast. Bring it very fast. What we are doing here, members or viewers, we are dry bonding. We have already identified our areas where the building is going to stop. So what normally happens, we first do what we call dry bonding. You continue. Dry bonding means you are trying to put up the bricks without using the mortar, so that you know where the first brick starts and where the last brick ends. Gerard, you bring these bricks this side, bring this brick side. So after you have identified the areas where your bricks are going to stop and end, to begin and end, then from there you remove your bricks, you start using real mortar. That's dry bonding. After we have dry bonded, then we also put there the second course for dry bonding to see whether the bricks fit within these joints we have already created. Once the joints are not well created, it means we are going to experience what we call cracks in the building. So to avoid that, you make sure you do what we call bonding or tying of the bricks together. Now we have put there this brick, we call it a 3/4 bat. A 3/4 bat helps us to tie so that it cuts in the middle of this brick. Otherwise, if we are to do the bonding or the tying of the bricks, I bring the same brick, I put it here, bring that brick. I get the second brick, I put it here. Members or the viewers, you can see there are split joints. So meaning that any time, if there is any shaking of the structure, it will collapse because there is nothing that is tying it. So to avoid that, you make sure all your bricks are tied. And to tie them, you use what we call a 3/4 bat. It's a 3/4 bat brick. It is the one that helps you or aids you to do the what? The tying of the bricks, so that you avoid the split joints. Even when you stand from the elevation, you could see that the bricks are now well tied. Minus the 3/4 bat, if you use the only headers, it means your bricks are going to create straight joints. So to avoid that, you make sure the bricks are used 3/4 bat at the beginning and even at the end. That's the purpose of putting the 3/4 bat. Another thing, in the case this was a continuing end, the 3/4 bat is not going to be considered. We are going to put there another header. We leave this space there, so that when you bring another course, the space remains like this. The space remains like this. Because we expect in the future there is extension for this wall. But if there is no any extension, it is a stopped end, then there is no need of doing this. That's what we mean. So if this is a stopped end, then it means we are going to put there our what? We are going to put there our 3/4 to tie the building, because the building is stopping from here. The building is stopping from here, then we use a 3/4 bat. We can put the third course. Normally when we are building, you normally dry bond and put there the 3 courses to aid you to see whether the bricks are real tying. Once you confirm that, then you remove the bricks, you start the real setting using mortar. But now we are still dry bonding to prove whether our bricks can occupy the space we have already identified. That's what we call dry bonding. Okay? Okay? Good. Now, once this one is already established, then you come and put your line here where your brick has stopped. You also put the line where the last brick has stopped. Members, we have already established where our bricks are going to stop. From there, we can now remove them, then we start rebuilding using mortar. Gerard, we can remove. Gerard, we can remove. We are now going to start rebuilding. We've been dry bonding to prove whether these bricks can fit this piece of work we have already identified. Now we have already proved that, so we can start rebuilding using mortar. And members, the mortar we are normally using, it's only lime mixed with sand plus water. We don't use cement because these models we are building here are meant for demonstration purposes. Students build the models, then after we have marked them, we demolish them. Otherwise, if we are using the cement, then it becomes very expensive. So we normally use lime so that it's a daily routine for training of the what? Of the learners. Now we have already got our mark points, so we can start rebuilding. So when you are building members, you follow what we call a drawing plan. You have a plan that guides you to do a piece of work. You don't just build far. You have a plan that guides you. Now we already have the plan. It is telling us we shall have to use headers. We have so many types of bonds. We have header bond, we have stretcher bond, we have frame bond. But today we are going to discuss on header bond. This is what we are going to look at. Now we are going to use our mortar. We are going to use our mortar. We put the first brick. We shall put the first brick here. Once we put the first brick, we also put the last brick. Then from there, members, Gerard, you can get a level. We can get the plumb. You get the square of the brick. When you get the first brick, you first get the level. You get its plumb. It's okay. You come this side. You have leveled the first brick. We are now leveling the second brick. We have leveled the second brick. Yes. Put the plumb. Once you get the level of the first brick and the second brick, then the rest of the bricks will not disorganize you. You will get them very fast. Now what I'm saying here, once you get the first brick and the second brick, you have the levels. So now the rest of the bricks, you just put there your straight edge like this. Gerard, you can bring the bricks. Put the mortar. You put your mortar. Then after the mortar, you lay the bricks following the straight edge. Because all these two bricks are on the same line, they have the same height. Then you start building your bricks. So there's no brick that goes beyond the straight edge. Continue. And we are following the marks we have already identified at the beginning. So we shall not go beyond these marks. And members, when we are building, at the beginning we used this level. This is to get us the levels on top. This is a builder's level, spirit level. It is helping us to get the levels on the top. Then, what is it? Gerard, where is the plumb bob? Give me that plumb bob. Then we also have another tool called plumb bob. This plumb bob is going to help us to make sure that all the bricks are very straight. This plumb bob, we shall be putting there on the second course to make sure all the bricks are on the same what? On the same line. We are going to put there the second course. And the second course, there is a tool that is going to guide you so that all the bricks are plumbed. And this is the plumb bob. Now members, from here, to get the verticalness of this building, you make sure you put the plumb bob, it goes down to make sure it is in the line with the first brick you set. Once you establish that, you go to the second one, you put the plumb bob, it is in the line with the first brick, it is well plumbed. You also come this, because this is a fair face, this is the rough face. So you also put a plumb on the fair face so that it is in line with the rest of the bricks. You plumb. Once you confirm this, then you go the other side. You also plumb. You can put mortar the other side, then you put the 3/4. Now we have already confirmed that one side is plumbed. So we are going to put 3/4 the other side, so we also plumb them. After that, we shall put there our street edge, so all the bricks will be lining according to the street edge we have already put. Because all the bricks are already plumbed. You put plumb the other side. Yes. After plumb bob, you establish the level. You make sure the levels are there. Once you identify that the levels are already there, then you come. We put there mortar. Put there mortar, we put there the second course. Members, we are beginning with 3/4 for the second course because we don't want to create straight joints, as we have already said. Now, from there, if you want to be a good builder, the first course should resemble the third course. That's the principle in the building. The first course should resemble the third course. Then the second course should resemble the fourth course. That's the science and the building, if you are building. Any bond you are using, but you should follow that pattern. The first course should follow the third course. The second course should follow the fourth course. Now, we are building the second course. We are building the second course. If we are going to put there the third course should resemble the first course we established. That's the science in the building. So put the bricks. The remote is too much. Okay, you put the bricks, we say. We can fill in the joints now. We are doing this so that the mortar is not wasted the other side. We are doing this so that the mortar is not wasted the other side. We are filling the joints, then after this, we shall put there the third course. So we are going to establish and put there the third course. As I told you earlier, the first course resembles the third course. The second course resembles the fourth course. Now we are going to establish and put there the third course. So now put the mortar there for the third course. Members, I would like to remind you that this is a header bond where you start with the headers throughout, then the second course you put there the 3/4. The 3/4 is to make sure the building is tied so that we don't experience the street joints. That's why we put that 3/4 at the second course. Now we are going to put there the third course. The third course, as I told you, resembles the first course. The third course resembles the first course. So we are putting the third course. The first course, we had put there all headers throughout. Now the third course still, we are putting there headers. So the third course resembles first course. That's the principle in building. The second course resembles the first course. Now we are putting there the what? You put the first brick there. Now before you put there the rest of the bricks, once you put one brick at the corner and the other brick at the corner, then you plumb them. And what do we mean by plumbing? Gerard, where is the plumb? Plumb. You plumb that side. You plumb them to make sure they are in line with the first brick. That is plumbing. So that they are well at 90 degrees. That is plumbing. That tool, we call it a plumb bob or engineering bob. It helps us to make the verticalness of the building. Now, once that one is established, you also plumb in the corner, this side. We plumb this corner. We make sure the third course is in line with the first course. The first course is in line with the third course. You don't allow the plumb bob to touch the brick, but you allow it to keep on dancing around a few millimeters. Then once you establish that one is correct, then you come on fair face, you also plumb the same brick to make sure it is in line with the first brick. You make sure it is in line with the first brick. You don't allow the plumb bob to touch the brick, but it keeps on changing, checking the verticalness, and once you confirm it is very correct, then you stop there. Then the rest of the bricks will follow this. Once you establish that, then you get a straight edge, Gerard, touch there, you get a straight edge, you confirm that they are on the same line, then you start laying the bricks so that you get the same alignment. Viewers, when you are building a normal standard residential house, when you are building up to the beam, it should have what we call 2.4 meters. That's the height of the building. Any normal residential house, when you are building, it should be 2.4 meters. Those who normally use feet, it should be approximately 8 feet, if I can tell you. Then if we want to reach at the wall plate, the house is ready for roofing, the structure should be 3 meters in terms of height. The height of the building from the DPC, damp-proof membrane, to the wall plate, it should read 3 meters in terms of height, meaning the building is ready for what? For roofing. That is a residential building. So any residential building, its height should be 3 meters from the DPC, the wall plate. But at the beam level, it should have a standard of 2.4 meters. That is standard normal residential house. If we are to reach up to wall plate, it should read 3 meters, meaning the structure is ready for roofing. That is a normal residential house. That's what I had for you members for today. Thank you.
Smart 24, driving business.
Amanya Mukalaza Augustine okuva mu budget technical service ninda kuyigiriza nga bwe tukwata landa bwe tugipangulula bwe tugipanga bwe tugikozesa buli kimu kyonna buli kimu ekigikolako bwe ye topic gye tugenda okukozesa olwaleero. Landa kyeki? Landa kye kyuma kye tukozesa mu kulanda embaawo okuzigolola ozijjamu ebinnya ozitereeza tusobola okuzibajjamu bulungi. Kati leero tugenda kuyiga kiki ekikola na buli kimu kyonna na bwe kifaanana munda waakyo na buli kimu na buli paati yaakyo yonna. Kati katutandika ogisumulula tulabe buli kimu ebikola landa. Landa yaffe tuba tugipanguludde efaanana bweti. Erina obuntu bungi. Kuliko kano koolaba kano tukanyoola nga twongeza olulimi oba to adjust and readjust. Kano ke tukozesa nga twongeza mu maaso oba emabega. Ate kuliko na kano omulimo gwako ke katereeza akambe kaffe kano tuba tukataddemu bwe tuti kekatereeza oba kali ku side entuufu oba tekali ku side entuufu. Kati eno bwoti bw'oba okalabye bwoti nga tukataddemu bwe tuti kati wano okalaba nti kateredde togalaba kaba kazannya bwe kati katereeza tukozesa kano okatereeza mu position yaako. Kati landa erina ebintu ebirala. Kati kano kino kye tukozesa okusumulula landa tukozesa screwdriver kuba yo erina ekintu kyayo kino okusumulula omusumaali gwaffe guno. Kati kano ke kamba akasala. Eno kata ke kambe ke tukozesa okulanda bwe kati bwe kafaanana. Ano ke kambe kaffe ke tukozesa. Kino kye kikaapu kyayo kye tusiba kuno. Oba tokisibyeko kuno bino ebisusunku byolaba tulanda nga bifuluma tebijja kusobola kukola ki kufuluma. Bwe tusibako kino kyekyuma ekituyamba okusobola okufulumya ebisusunku byaffe. Kati wano landa yaffe tumaze ogipangulula kati tugenda kuddamu tugipange. Tukwata kano akambe kaffe n'ekino ekisiba. Kati bw'oba okipanga ogezaako okulaba ng'oyingiza mu katuli kano bwoti then n'otambuza bulungi okusobola okulaba ng'okola ki ng'okatereeza bulungi. Then bw'omala okuyingizaamu okyusa n'olaba nti kino ekintu ekyuma kyaffe kino kiteredde bulungi wano mu maaso. Gezaako okulaba nga kiri ku mumwa wano. So bwe kiba nga tekiri ku mumwa akambe kaffe kati kajja kulanda bulungi kajja kuba kalanda katemaatema. Ogezaako okulaba nga kasibye bulungi wano akali ku mumwa kateredde bulungi. Bw'omala n'olyoka osiba omusumaali gwaffe bulungi nnyo. N'onywereza ddala bulungi nnyo okulaba nga tekanyeenya. Bwe tumala kino kye tusibye kye kisookako n'okyambazaako bulungi. Ogezaako okulaba nga kano akambe kateebye mu musumaali gutya musumaali gwaffe guno n'emuno munda. Kati n'omala n'ossaako kino ekyuma kyaffe bulungi nnyo era nakyo kiyingiriza eno ewagazi wano. N'omala n'okisindika mpola mpola ekituuka mu kano akanya akatono wano n'olyoka okola ki n'olyoka osiba. Kati bw'omala n'olyoka osiba bulungi nnyo n'olaba akambe kaffe oba kakoze ki oba kamaze okutereera. Bw'okaba tekateredde tonyoola wano nga tosumuludde kuba wano bumaze okusiba. Oddamu n'osumulula bulungi n'olyoka onyoola akambe kaffe ne kakendeera okasetinga nga bw'okola ki nga bw'oyagala. Kati n'omala bw'omala okatuusa ku size gy'oyagala n'oddamu n'osiba bulungi n'onyweza. Bw'etyo landa yaffe nga tumaze ogikuddamu ogipanga bulungi. Ogikozesa omuti gwaffe gwe guno ogezaako okulaba nga ene waterevu oteka ku muti kuno okwata ene mabega landa yaffe ogikwata mu nkwata bweti kwata ojja gikwata bwoti eno tesobola kuba ejja kuba teteredde ogikwata bulungi n'olabanga lwaki tugikwata bwe tuti kituyambako okulaba nti eteredde bulungi ogikwata nga eri mu mukono bulungi ekituyamba okulaba nga ekola ki era olubawo oluba tenaba kutereera kati nga bwolaba wano eba eranzeewo wano tenaba kulanda wano eranzeewo na wano tenaba kulandawo na wano kitegeeza omuti gwaffe gubadde gulimu obunnyanya bwe buti kati bw'olanda n'olaba genda okulaba nga okoze eki nga bwonna buweddemu kati gwonna ogulaba gwonna guteredde kati awo tuba tukakasiza ndi kukoze eki umaze okutereera bulungi nnyo awo ng'olekera awo kati wali nga bwetwagisibye wata wagisibye bulungi nga bwe twabadde tugambye bino tebisobola kufulumamu bulungi ate n'omuti tegusobola kuba nga guli simuusi bwe guti guba gusigala raafu kuba guba gutematema butemekeme gwegwo omugaso gwaffe ogwa landa yaffe n'ogiseetinga ndowooza kati tumaze okulaba landa yaffe okugipanga ogipangulula n'omugaso gwayo ndowooza omuyizi waffe asobola ogikozesa bulungi. Amanya nze Kasibante Henry okuva mu Kasibante Garments and Fashions esangibwa ewakiso Kasengejje Road. Olwaleero tugenda kuyiga oba kusoma engeri gye tuyisaamu wuzi mu kyalaani. Kati ekisookera ddala wuzi eno ogikwata n'ogituuza ano ku thread stand nga bwe mulaba ngituuzizza n'engisikako akawuzi kano ke mulaba kubako kaba kasigadde kalengejja n'enkasika n'enkaleeta mu siteepu ey'okubiri wano nga bwe mulaba bwengireese bwenvaawo n'engireeta n'engiyisa mu nsaniya zino ze mulaba ze nabagambako ku luutu eri nga tusoma mu nsaniya zino n'engiyisa omwo bwentyo nga bwe mulaba ezze n'ejja n'engisikeera n'ejja eyita mu katayimbwa kano ke mulaba akakoze la akakoze ennyukuta eya ero kati bwe nkayisa omwo n'enzija nsobola okugiyisa mu kaleega lulike nabagamba akaleege wuzi kano era n'engiyisaamu nga bamulaba bwejja n'engisika bwenti bwe mmala n'engissa wansi n'engiyisa ku kabaati kano kati bwe mmala ogiyisa mu kaleega kano n'engireeta n'eyita mu kakongolijjo kano ke mulaba ngisonsekamu akakongolijjo kano keekutte ku face cover eno ku kabaati kano akabikka wano bwe mmala ogiyisa mu kakongolijjo ako n'enzija ate era n'engiyisa mu kuuma kano akeekutte ku mutayimba guno ogutulamu empiso awo era erina okuyita mu kuuma ako abo bonna bugigayidinga ewuzi okusigala ng'etambula bulungi nga teregeya bweva mu kuuma ako n'engisongola bulungi kati bwe mmaliriza nga eyise mu butundu bino byonna byenzize embalaga okuva waggulu n'engiyisa mu katuli k'empiso kano ke mulaba nsindikamu bwenti bwe mala ogiyisaamu n'engisika nga bwe mulaba bwengisise nebanga kati erindiridde okusikayo ewuzi eya wansi kati wuzi eno ezze bweti ng'eva wano n'ejja n'edda wano n'ejja n'ekka n'eyita mu nsaniya zino n'evaayo n'eyambuka n'ejja n'eyita mu kaleega kano n'eva mu kaleega n'ejja n'eyita mu kakongolijjo kano n'eva mu kakongolijjo ako n'edda mu kakongolijjo akali ku mpiso n'evaawo n'egenda eyita mu katuli k'empiso kati ewuzi eno nga bw'etambudde yonna emitenderamu eyise naye erina ginne waayo bwe bakola omukago nga batunga eva wansi mu bobini naye nga ey'omu bobini bwe mba njijjayo nkwata olugalo lwange mu katuli kano akakabaati kano ke nabalaga ku luli ka side plate n'enseetula nga nkazze eno ku lefti n'ensobola okugjayo bobini munda eri mugirengera n'engisikayo n'engijjayo nayo ne mmala okugikebera nti wuzi kweri kati bobini eno erimu ebitundu bibiri erimu munda muyo gye bayita bobini ringi eno gye mulaba
kati neeno nesigala nga ye bobini case byonna bwe tubigatta awamu bwe tuti gye tuyita bobini. Kati eno bobini ring gye mulaba njawudde, eno bobini case. Bobini ring gye tuzingako wuzi nga bwe mulaba ngenda gizingako wano n'engalo, gye tuzingako wuzi bwe tuti, bwe tumala ogizingako kati n'enkutula. Kati bwe maze okuzingako wuzi kati yiino mugiraba ngireeta ngiteeka mu bobini case, mugiraba bweti egenda mu bweti nkakwata nenkasimba busimbalaala bwenti nenkasonsekamu ne kakka bwe kati. Bwe malo kasonsekamu nensika oluwuzi luno lwasigadde ebweru nga ndukute n'olugalo nenduleeta nenduyisa mu mpataanye eno gye mulaba neeyita mu kano kagundi ka tension spring. Kano akabaati mu luzungu bakayita tension spring. Akabaati kano nenkwata wano lwingi eno nga mulaba ngikutte nendikwata n'olugalo olwo nensobola okusika wuzi eneke bulungi muno era mugiwulidde kontode neyingira mu tension spring. Awo nensikamuko ka distance kano kemulaba kensise kenasobozesa empisa eno waggulu okujja esisinkana eno egisike waggulu. Kati bwe mmala ngenda kuzzaayo bobini eno wansi, naye kati bwe mba njizaayo wansi zigula ebbaati lino li side plate wasobole okulabika gye ngendo gissa. Kati nkwate bobini eno nensika taabu eno, kataabu kano oba akakongolijjo nkasika bwenti nentekayo olugalo lwange luno oluwanvu nenkakwata bwenti kasobole okugaziya omuwaatwa guli waliwo akantu wansi ketuyita sato huku akasumaali kalimu kagenda okuyingira akawanirira bobini eno wansi gyebeera. Kati nina okugisika nga bwe mulaba bwe nkasise kano bwenti nkasise nensindikayo olugalo lwange nendeeta ekigalo ekisajja ne bikikwata bwebi. Kati nendeeta bobini eno seno wansi mu magulu gange nenjireeta nga bwe mulaba. Kati wano bobini ino njiteekayo nga nkyakutte eddobo lyange lino linabagambye lyenkozesa ekigalo ekisajja ne luli olugalo oluwanvu. Maze okugireeta eno ngenda gisindikayo nga nkyakutte kali akalobo. Kati yino njiteekayo ngisindise era nkyakutte eddobo liri muliraba. Kati ngenda lita bwe ndita kitegeeza bobini yenyweddeyo, nditadde era mugiraba yenyweddeyo tesobola kuvaayo. Kati olwo ngenda kuteekateeka nzigalawo, nzigaddewo nkwata eno motion wheel oba enziga eno eya waggulu ku kyalaani nginyoole nga njizza eno ewange gyendi mu maaso gange. Bwe malo ginyoola bwenti empisa ekke wansi esobole okunonayo ewuzi eya wansi. Kati wano mukuka wansi waliwo eddobo eriri wansi nenabagambye lisato huuku ligenda kusisinkana empisa eno ligiyiteko lirobe ewuzi eno eva waggulu ligitwalire ewuzi eri wansi mu bobini basisinkane bagisikeyo era mugiraba kati bagisiseeyo evuddeyo wansi. Bwe limala ogisikayo ewuzi ne mugiraba nga bwezze nedda waggulu. Kati olwo evuddeyo ngenda kuteekateeka okutunga. Wuzi zino ngenda kusitula akagere kano ke nabalaga luli kayimirire then nziyiseemu nzisindike mu maaso zibe nga zo zirinze olugoye zirulindidde eri mu maaso. Kati ndeeta olugoye lwaffe nduyingizeeyo era nkomyewo nzisa akagere. Awo ntandika okutunga nga bwe mulaba ngenda kutandika okutunga. Kati ntunga era mugiraba wuzi eri kuluka ntunga ng'ekyalani kisindika olugoye mu maaso nga ne wuzi eri kweruka. Nkakasa muyize
Smart 24, driving business.